Within the initial training, we talked about how you should be paying attention to your dashboard, which is that first screen that you come into when you enter Nexus, and how if you ever have something in these two categories, either invoices on hold or image exceptions, that those are things that you need to address. So this video is going to explain how you address those. And there is a PDF available that walks through this as well, but I'm going to go through it step by step right now. So the important thing to note is that image exceptions and invoices on hold should be reviewed on a daily basis. The only reason why they should sit there longer than a few days is if you're asking questions about them, whether to a vendor or to Capitals or someone else, but those should be addressed very quickly once you see them. So an image exception would be any image that, or any invoice that appears to be incomplete. This could be something that was scanned in that maybe doesn't look like an invoice. We've had people upload statements before. We've had them upload payroll before. It's kind of funny. So if there's something that was scanned into us that we don't think is actually going to be processed forward, we will mark it as an image exception. This also would maybe include invoices that have been sent in that are incomplete. Maybe we can't read the invoice number or read some of the information on it. Or maybe you didn't include all of the pages. It's important to remember that you need to scan in all of the pages for your invoices. So if you wanted to see the notes of what's sitting in there for your image exceptions, you would go into Nexus and you come in here to image management and go to exceptions. Oh, I don't have any right now. Bummer. Okay, well this walks you through how you would do that. You would click into the exceptions and then you can see the notes. Please keep in mind that there should be notes there that are telling you why it was flagged as an image exception, and so you will want to look into that. The other images, well, the other category that your images could go into is an invoice on hold. And invoices that are put on hold are usually put on hold for a few reasons. One is that there's not a purchase order available, or there's a large discrepancy between the invoice and the purchase order amount. This will need to be reviewed by the manager so that you are proving what's going on so that you can see why we are putting this on hold. So if you have an invoice on hold, I'm going to show you how you would do this. So currently I have one invoice on hold. So if I went in here and I clicked into this, I would be able to see these on hold notes below, and these are my notes to the manager. And it said, you said that a portion of 104-2017-16 and that this is a portion of 04-2017-16 and the whole purchase order is for $350. I'm asking him if we need to leave a portion of that purchase order open because this invoice is only for $75. So these notes could be anything that we're asking you about. And what you need to do is make sure that you have the answer to our question before you go and activate it. This shows you how to activate that invoice. And then once you've activated it, you're going to make notes. I'll just go ahead and activate this one and then put it back on hold so that you can see how that works. So I would activate it, yes. And then I would put notes here. I'm going to just say notes that are for Nexus training. And then what I would do is I would just save it back. And what this does is it saves it back to your Logan Financial, and now they'll be able to see the notes and they'll be able to move forward with that based on what your notes say. Please keep in mind that if I And making this note, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to change the purchase order or anything like that. If I specifically ask you to, then you would have to make adjustments to the purchase order. And like I said, you would just save it there. I didn't save it just because I don't need those notes in there for that specific one. Okay, so this training is really short, but please keep in mind that those need to be done exactly the way that I've outlined, because that ensures that it's in the proper workflow, whether it's currently on the manager and we're waiting for the manager to do something, or if it's on the Logan Financial and the manager has done their part. So please make sure that you are doing that exactly as instructed, and this document should be available to you as well as this training. Within Nexus, you have the capability of creating a purchase order template, which will allow you to use this purchase order multiple times. You can create a copy of it. So I'm going to walk through how you would create a template within Nexus. So you would just go about this the same way, creating a new purchase order. So we're going to do this one for Aztec Springs, and they use Greenscape for their lawn care. So say that the manager at Aztec Springs wanted to create a purchase order that came up every single month that's for contracted landscaping. So we're going to do contracted landscaping, and this is going to be for $650. Landscaping contract, and it's a flat $650, so I'm not going to add in any sales tax here. We're going to save that. And so now if he wanted to use this to have it be a template instead of just processing it forward like normal, you would come here and do save as a template, and you can name it landscape contract. Okay, what this does is then it takes this template and puts it under purchase orders template. I'm going to filter this by property so that we can see where it is. Okay, perfect. So here it is. So if I wanted to come in here and use this, all I need to do is do create a copy. Oh, sorry. Where is it? We want to use it. Use the template. And so now what this has done is it's created a purchase order based on that template, and if everything looked good in here and I didn't want to adjust anything, I could just process this forward like you would with a normal purchase order. But I'm going to delete this because I'm not going to use that purchase order. But then my template is still sitting out there to be used. So if I wanted this to come up at the beginning of every month, I need to put it on a schedule. So what I'm going to do is create a schedule, and I'm going to start this on the 1st of May because I want it to be on the 1st of each month. And I'm going to set it for 8 o'clock in the morning. And I usually, when I'm doing the end date, I usually put it out really far, just to like 2022. And then click a date, so that one will end sometime in the future, a long time from now. And what I want this to do is this is monthly contracted landscaping, so I'm going to click for monthly, and I want it to be the first day of every 1 month. Do you want the creator to be alerted via email when the item is created? You could choose yes or no. In this case, I'm going to say no. Do you want this item to automatically be submitted for approval? Yes, I do. So I'm going to save that. And then what will happen is at the beginning of each month on the 1st, this will create a purchase order that looks exactly like this for Greenscape Land Care, contracted landscaping for $650. So if you want those, you can set them up on schedules of 1 month, 2 months,